everybody. Hold on a second. We got... shut this music down a little bit. Alright, so Bitcoin might hit 25,000 here tonight. So I wanted to go live here real fast. Let's have a little watch party with everybody who wanted to hang out late night. But done with their dinner and their families to see what happens. So I had this trend line here that we came into, had some resistance, and I saw it pop above this. I was like, all right, let me go see what's going to happen. If we're going to get rejected or break through 25,000, do a quick live stream here. I had some news. I was working on a video. I got my telescope for Christmas. I guess my wife knew. Well, I wanted to keep an eye on Bitcoin. Nice. What kind of telescope? I have a, I'll show you. So I'll pull up mine here real fast while we have this little watch party. This is kind of just a loose and free one. Everybody's got their holidays on. I don't know if people want to be on a YouTube or not. So let's see here. I have a Skywatcher 8-inch collapsible Dobsonian. Where's my, not the classic, what do they call that? Yeah, this is my, my current main telescope. It's an 8-inch Dobsonian, so I got some good pictures. I don't have a good tracking base. I want to get a good tracking tripod and a much smaller scope for astrophotography, but I do have I can mount my Sony I have an Alpha A6000, the mirrorless. Okay, got the music killed. Celestron StarSense Explorer DX. Hooks up the smartphone, taking pics. Oh, yeah. Mine's not like super, that one's not like super fancy. Yeah, yours is a really good one. You got the EQ mount, the equatorial mount, I assume? So yours and mine cost similar. Yours is obviously better for tracking, better for astrophotography because you probably have a little bit of an EQ mount. Yeah, I want to get a better setup for astrophotography someday. Warning, bitrate is lower than recommended bitrate. We recommend streams health. Let's see what my computer says. I can adjust, my QoS must be limiting me. Oh, it didn't matter. We're watching Bitcoin. I thought it was gonna snap a little harder here, but we might get rejected at 25K. It's gonna be curious to see what happens. So let me just talk through some things I saw earlier today. Let's go to my 12 hours here. So ADA is in this really bad downtrend versus Bitcoin, right? But we're kind of expecting things to some point they're gonna snap back the other direction. And so it's gonna be kind of dicey to watch and try to catch that when it happens, but we have a lot of headroom if we break these long-term downtrends, which is kind of what I'm waiting on. So I might put on a small trade. We break this downtrend channel, and then put a bigger trade on. We break up here. But ETH BTC is the other one I've been watching closely. I got stopped out at 0.25. Stream settings, stream health, analytics. Stream health is that, so we're back to being good. Okay. Healthy stream. And by the way, hey Matt. Okay. The other thing, Ethereum. Yeah, I saw Litecoin looks like it's leading. So this is a line. I said if Litecoin can break that resistance, I'd be interested in putting on a trade. So true to my word, I put it at the top of my list and watching it closely. Link. I drew in this trend line. This was not here before this fall. I'm gonna see if we start to bounce off of this. If we do, then we've got a lower trend line here to watch, along with this support. It did interact pretty well with the moving averages. So if I go to, the USD did, I'm sorry. The link, Bitcoin, the moving averages look really bad, about to cross, so that's not good. But it's really not that important on a chart like that. It moves around so much, kind of irrelevant. Synthetics, been watching for an entry. Got this little downtrend. I'm waiting for a counter trend to kind of develop. actually, I was thinking about drawing this earlier here. You can kind of draw like a little bit of a counter trend. We're kind of no longer in this downtrend because we kind of broke out here. We're bull flagging potentially really big, or a pennant maybe. Let's see what this is, what kind of formation this is. On this, no. Let's see what we got here. We got some type of a pennant going on. So we'll see if we break out of that formation. Sorry, my dog is being obnoxious. Yeah, so we might be able to start to draw a bit of an uptrend channel here, something like that. We'll see if that really starts to hold. If we get some more interaction with that. I had it in a downtrend because obviously we're kind of broke that. All right, that's synthetics. Or we still have some work to do on a lot of these, but synthetics at least is looking a little bit more solid. Potentially wanting to make a move up. BTC dominance. There's been a lot of chatter in the crypto sphere about this snapping downward at some point. The other thing too is like the Bitcoin sell-off. Everybody expects Bitcoin dominance to drop like a rock here pretty soon, but everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to sell off coming into the all-time high bigger, maybe back to this level here, and it's not going to at this point. Looks like anyway. So I haven't hit 25K yet. So I was gonna say, that's one thing we have to be cognizant of, is that this cycle doesn't have to be like any other cycle, right? And Bitcoin it is the trade because of the macroeconomic situation. So we'll see what happens when we come into this. This is my kind of prime long-term trend line, but it's just drawn off those two touches up there. So it's really not much to work off of. But it does match these more near-term trend line angle. So we come into that, we hit 70. We kind of came into it right there. Actually, maybe that gives me a little bit of a guide on that prime trend line. Put it right on top of that where it touched. We'll see if it interacts with that. That's our last little fake out, and we get a drop. What's Bitcoin doing? We're getting close, guys. We're getting close. It's going to do it tonight. It's going to do it. Yeah, it's going to hit 25K. So if we go to a lower time frame, so I had this wedge built here, and it broke out of that. Nice little breakout there. And then if we go to a really low time frame, it just barely consolidated. It's just pushing up. Breakout, retest, resumption, straight up. No, not a lot of. We'll see if we hit 25K. Let me look up your telescope. Celestron Star Sense Explorer DX. It's a nice little scope though. I have a friend that has one that's just like that, very similar. Oh, you got so you can put your camera on there for photos, and you can use it for like finding too, right? To find, it helps. Use smartphone for star navigation, so you can use your phone to get directly on your target, and then you can also use your phone, little accessory, to take pictures of what you're looking at. Yeah, the guys that are like big into astrophotography have crazy. This is the setup I want. Where's it at? Yeah, here's the setup I want for a relatively inexpensive astrophotography setup. It's got a good equatorial mount. Can't remember which one this is though. This is like the value equatorial mount. Yeah, this is a good. Anyway, back to the charts. Sorry. Somebody got a telescope for Christmas here, so wanted to. Thanks. I'm super excited. Always wanted to do more of that. Yeah. I got some. Can I find my pictures I took? I took some pictures. I'd have to find a way to get them up. Oh, I can get them. Hold on. I'll show you the photos I took of the double. And this was like I only had a few minutes to get out there and take this photo. Oh, where are my photos at? I took a photo of the Jupiter-Saturn alignment thing. I guess a decent photo. It was just I took like 10 1/20th second photos on like I think 800 or ISO, and here we go. 800 ISO, and I stacked them with the color filters in each one, like just computerized color filters after the fact, and then I stacked them all together. Turned out okay. I don't have it handy. All right. Back to some news I wanted to talk about here when I got a chance. I need to make a video for this stuff. So first of all, I said earlier, if ETH breaks this right here, I think we're game on. So breakout, you know, we fell back, got rejected, hit this trend line, got some support at this trend line, and now we're looking to resume. Breakout, retest, resumption here, and we're looking to really push. There's not a lot of resistance. This is not a, well, this is going to be a little bit of resistance, but it's straight to 800, and then fight with that, and then it's straight to 1200 in my book. There's probably some resistance here at 900, but the hype and the FOMO, once we make those moves, I think it's going to smash 900. So this is your next resistance right there. I think once we hit 800, there'll be some more battling. I think 900 won't be much of a thing, and then this 1200 to 1400 range will be the big resistance on ETH. But what I'm expecting is ETH to finally break free and make a very quick snap to its all-time high, which is when that's when ETH to BTC will flip and we'll get a good run. We'll take our profit in here. That's what I'm waiting to happen. All right. So yeah, we break 25,000. My goodness gracious, this is so bullish, it's ridiculous. So close, guys. Somebody yell at me when we make it. Okay, so I got some news here. We had some opinions about DeFi versus store of values, kind of some terminology that's being... The other piece of news I had up was... Zalika made a little bit of noise. They were making noise all over the place. Polkadot now available in Challenging Pro. No. Let's look at something here real fast too. CoinMarketCap. XRP's falling. Cardano overtook. Chainlink fell behind. Cardano's at 8. By the end of this cycle, Cardano's going to be 3, I almost promise you. The XRP falling. BTC's not quite there yet. Getting close, getting close. Yeah, I was watching a video with, Boy Crypto, I guess, talking about, you know, they're saying kind of what I've been seeing on the charts is that they kind of expect the top 10 or 20 to really pump here pretty soon. I think it's going to be you know, I guess Uniswap, these players down here will probably pump too, VeChain, Uni, but really the top 10 are probably going to get a real solid bid here soon to kick off alt season. I've always thought alt season is going to be led by Ethereum when it finally breaks this 620 resistance. Get some good FOMO going on. I'm going to pause the stream for about 5 minutes while we let this do its work. I'll leave this up on the screen. I'll put on some music. Where's my better music? I'm going to throw some music up here. I'm going to be back in just a minute, so take care back. Put on the load chart here, we can all watch this together. Watch party. Wife's trying to put the little one down. Alright. Let's see if we make it to 25K. I thought we were going to make it there a little bit faster, but it's going to consolidate a bit more right here. Thanks, Kevin. Let me go find some news. Oh, my music's too loud. Hold on. So I had some other news I wanted to talk about. So my thoughts, by the way, on the FinCEN.
Do you think I want this?
And the XRP issues. Somebody said this song was dope, so I decided to put it on. It's gonna be too distracting for me to play this and talk. Oh, we're gonna get rejected, Fooey. Well, we'll see what happens. So on XRP and FinCEN, and then we had the Ledger Nano hack too, so all big news in the crypto space. So the FinCEN stuff, the wallet KYC stuff, from what I understand, when I looked at the actual regulation they're proposing, it's very nebulous, and especially, you know, what, like, they didn't even spell out what kind of address. They didn't say if it needed to be a physical address, an IP address, what that was associated with that wallet. And so there's some question as to, you know, how, like, exactly what they want, what they're looking for, you know, and so there's a lot of nebulous discussion with that. So I'm curious to see. The 5th is going to be interesting. I think the 5th is when they vote on it. So there's comments can be submitted until the 5th. I think based on the market's kind of reaction and how things have bounced back, the market's tentative on like ETH and DeFi in general, but it's bounced back pretty well. So I think most people think kind of how I feel, that even if it passes, it's going to be super hard to enforce a lot of those rules. And even if, you know, and people will find a lot of workarounds. I think they're going to have to give some consensus for a lot of DeFi projects when you have to put funds in a neutral wallet address, like an ephemeral, you know, wallet or something. They're going to have to make concession for stuff like that. So we'll see how that turns out. I really don't think it's going to pass as constructed, as nebulous as it is. It's going to be really hard to enforce, and they don't understand the ramifications of you know, if they don't allow transactions to unknown wallets, what that's going to do. So they're going to have to allow some gray area for ephemeral, you know, use cases. Lots of different, you know, smart contracts have to generate a wallet address to hold something for a period of time. So I guess you could, you know, make up a name or something for it. The other thing too, it's just gonna do there's gonna be a lot of double transactions, and you can wrap. So if your exchange doesn't allow you to send money directly to a wallet that doesn't have a known you know, address, whatever that is, whether that be an IP address or a physical address, whatever it is, and the owner's name, what you can do is there's going to be services. You can wrap it in a contract that when you know the funds land on one wallet, it's a known wallet address, then they turn around and transfer that on to the unknown one. And so you'll have these intermediaries that aren't being regulated. So you'll just send it from a regulated service to an unregulated service that's not in the States or whatever, and then that'll turn around and send it on again. So there's going to be like smart contract wrappers that'll kind of get around that. I jinxed what? Oh, the breakout. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I shouldn't have started. I just said 25K watch. We'll just see. And then, so that's the FinCEN thing. So I don't see it passing as constructed. I think they're going to have to go rework a few things, or allow some more concessions or something. Or they'll just say that, hey, so when the information is known, then you have to supply that. I think that'll be the most likely concession out of this, is that if you have the information, you have to supply that in this type of form when these transactions happen. Otherwise, you have to report them as unknown transactions, and then they'll get to locking that down later, possibly. On the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, I see it very much as the SEC cracking down on bad actors. There's been so many scams in the crypto space. I think everybody understands that cryptocurrency now is legitimate, decentralized, services, decentralized money and finance. There's legitimate use cases for them. I think everybody understands that. So the SEC has gone out of their way to actually, state that like Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities because they're sufficiently decentralized. But the ones that are not sufficiently decentralized, which would be, some of the really the scammers, they can go out. They should go after them, right? So if your whole business model is to just dump, unregistered securities on the market whenever you want, whenever the price is right for you, and profit from that, that should be regulated. So, they're going after XRP for a good reason, I think. It's justifiable anyway. They're right. Like if the owners, if Chris and Brad are their names, the CEO and the founder, if they really did pocket like what is it, $800 million or something like that off of selling XRP to the market, there needs to be some ramification for that. I don't think it affects the rest of crypto. I think it just affects. It really just affects anybody who's trying to scam the market. The SEC is letting them know that they're going to at least try to do something. It's better than nothing. So I don't think it's, I think that's a non-event for the rest of crypto, really. And then the Ledger hack. That this goes to show you that you can, like, Ledger built really good. And I was kind of always leery of Ledger. I've been more of a Trezor guy myself because Trezor's open source software and Ledger's private software. But it just goes to show you, they, for their front end, they were using Shopify. That's how they got hacked. They were using Shopify for their front end services. And so anybody that had to submit information, that information was compromised. The problem with that is not so much that your email, just because somebody knows your email, it's not the end of the world, but you're now a target for phishing. And so, if they can send very official looking emails that look like it's coming from Ledger, now knowing that you're a Ledger customer, and they can say, hey, this is Ledger team, security team, we need you to update your security, we need you to redo your password, whatever, right? And then they have a phishing something, right? And so they can intercept, and they can cause a lot of problems. So that's really where the damage is. And some people were scammed out of some coins that way with the Ledger hacks. That's a big deal. But it goes to show you that, you can build good hardware security, but they need to, the holistic approach has to be there. And so this also goes back to why I'm not the biggest fan of hardware. Like everybody, there's a lot of people that are out there that are elitist about hardware wallets. You have to put your funds on a hardware wallet and all your funds on a hardware wallet. And it's true, once you go beyond a certain amount of investment, you definitely need to layer in a hardware wallet for the majority of when you're above and beyond a certain amount. But for small amounts of investment, the reality is that more funds have been lost to lost wallet addresses than have been lost to hackers, first of all. Now, over time, it's gotten better, and it's gone the other direction more recently. But secondly, they're not 100% foolproof. You still can be scammed through all kinds of middle software that fools you into sending your funds to a wrong address. Like when you put in an address, if you had some malware on your computer, you could be trying to transfer to one address, and it looks like the address on your screen, but it actually on the back end transfers to a hacker's address, right? So that type of stuff can happen even on your computer. So having a hardware wallet doesn't mean you're secure. It means that your private keys are fairly secure if you do everything right, but it doesn't mean that your transactions are secure and that your account is secure. So these are all things that we have to be very cognizant of. And so what I personally do is I try to spread my funds across a bunch of different services, and I have different ways of accessing them. So like my desktop computer that I'm recording this on right now has access to a lot of stuff, but it's a Windows computer, and I have a Mac laptop, and I have Linux machines too. I access a lot of my most secure stuff through my Mac. So my Mac is actually my gateway for most of my secure stuff. And my Windows PC, I do my active trading on, so my active trading accounts are here. But any of the stuff I do with my hardware wallets or anything like that, that's actually on my Mac. So that's another way of kind of providing some security. Is diversifying, where you have funds. Different. I have multiple hardware wallets. I don't have just one. So I have different hardware wallets. I've got funds on different exchanges. I've got some in custody, self-custody, some on custodial services like BlockFi. So, and then I have multiple two-factor authentication. And then if you have a Trezor T, it can act as a password device as well. So you can have your two-factor authentication physical key, which is a good thing to have as well. I recommend if you have Gemini, especially getting that set up, your hardware keys. And then you can have your Trezor act as your remote password device so that screen scrapers can't pick up your password. So anyway, a bunch of different things you can do. Those are some thoughts on security. But hardware wallets are not the end-all be-all. There's other things that we have to do to be careful. You can have a hardware wallet all day, but if somebody, scams you out of sending it to the wrong address or something because you clicked on the wrong link in a phishing email, there's nothing a hardware wallet can do about a user error. Those are kind of the major news events. I think in the long run, all of them will be non-events, especially for Bitcoin. But even Ethereum, they've considered Ethereum sufficiently decentralized, and the SEC is not going to go after Ethereum unless the Ethereum does something bad or has done something bad. Using Casa? I don't know what Casa even is. I do not know what you mean by... Oh, the secure storage. I just Googled it. Secure home. No, I don't use Casa. Something I can look into. These are the keys I'm talking about. These YubiKeys. I'll pull up the YubiKeys. These are good to have. It helps eliminate phishing attacks and things. So it makes you use your key for authentication. So this is what I'm talking about, the hardware key. It's a little YubiKey. Where's Bitcoin at? Oh, we're getting close. So close. Come on, Bitcoin. Hit 25,000. All right. Alan talked about it several times. Oh, Casa multisig. Yeah, multisig's definitely a good thing to do for sure. Yeah, requires that's multisig is fantastic to get set up properly. Not everything supports multisig though. So. Okay. All right. Bitcoin's going. Back on the topic of charts. Oh, so I've been researching. I've been trying to do some digging on some other projects. But I have this thought. I need to make one of my videos I'm going to try to work on is why I'm more focused on trading the top like 20 or 50 or whatever we want to say. Like there's some projects in here that are worth trading. Why I'm focused on trading the bigger names, however we want, whatever line we want to put on it, say 30, yeah, VChain, Aave, whatever. And I'm not so much looking for like the 1000x, ICOs or micro caps. There's two reasons for that. It's hard, it's kind of hard to predict the micro caps and ICO pumps. Secondly, if you know anything about trading and you can do, especially with what we're those of us that are doing the Conquer the Trading course and working with Jordan and Heath, if you have a good system for trading, I really think it's better to be, the trade that matters is Bitcoin. So being involved in Bitcoin is where you want to be to begin with. That's the trade right now, right? We know Bitcoin is going to go up because of the macroeconomics and the halving cycle. We don't know anything else is actually going to go up, we just think it probably is. And so, but for all these major ones that are probably going to go up, especially gain versus Bitcoin, if you have a good trading system, I think you can much more reliably profit from this bull run by properly, using good trading practices and discipline, rather than trying to hunt these insane, ICOs and try to hunt the 1000x coin and try. The other problem is there are people that will find these gems and they'll buy in early, but they don't know when to sell. And so it's kind of like, I think we all struggle with when to sell a big pump, but I guess you can do pretty well, but a lot of people sell way too early, or they hold on, don't keep an eye on it, and it comes crashing back down to near where it started. So looks like this breakout isn't as strong as before. Concerning? No, Henry, not at all. And here's why. The fact that we're still breaking upward, look at this run we've been on. Look at the separation from like the major moving averages. I mean, we've been on such a huge run. The fact that we're breaking upward and not downward it's just really, really bullish. That means that I was wrong in saying that the institutional money wouldn't matter as much. I think it's going to matter more than I thought it is. Now, I still think that when FOMO gets involved and retail traders push this thing up to 40,000 real fast or whatever might happen, then we'll still get that 30 to 40% sell off, or a couple of them. But I think we're going to have a bigger, more consistent move before that happens. But the fact that it's moving up, the fact that we had this huge breakout, this is really a consolidation phase underneath the all-time high, broke the all-time high, now we've consolidated and broken out of that, and we're moving up again. The fact that it's not moving as much now, this is gravity. I mean, there's a lot of gravity on this, because it's been a huge run. So there's a lot of just market gravity, I'll call it. And so we're much more likely to kind of, have a stair-step approach where we consolidate, move up, consolidate, move up. Yeah, exactly. Looking for 100x, not 1000x. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I've been this early move this early in the cycle has just shocked me more than anything. I did not expect it to move this strong this early. So we're really curious to see what happens now. But I do think that now that we've broken the all-time high, we've definitely, how many days have we been above it? Has anybody tried to count that? So we broke it here. It's not. So that's the first day. So above it, we were from the 17th trading days. Oh, that's right. We trade every day in crypto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've been over it for a full week, 9 days. So if we go to a weekly candle, what does our weekly candle do? Yeah, so we have an entire weekly candle. So now it hadn't closed above it. This weekly candle obviously closed above it. We pushed above it. We haven't had a second weekly candle complete above it. When did this weekly candle end? Today? Today. Yeah. So we're going to, I mean, unless something insane happens in the next couple hours, we're going to close above it for the second weekly candle. Henry, yeah, I would say, but think about that statement. So you just said that feels like we need to pull back for a more sustainable run. And in general, I would agree. In most things, I would agree. But this is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does things that nobody's ever seen before. People, I would have been saying the same thing right here. We need more of a pullback for a more sustained run. And I know that wasn't a sustained run. Fair enough that we did come back down to say this level or so, after the crash. But I mean, you could have been saying that the whole way in here, right? So somebody in here, I remember watching this, just right through here. It just got to be absolutely dumbfounding right through here. Everybody thought 10,000 was going to be a big sell-off, and man, it got volatile around 10,000, just blew through it. Remember, were y'all guys watching this? Right here, we remember 8,000 made the news. It was a big deal. We came within a little bit of 8,000. Then that's right. It's gonna go back down. Blah blah blah. Then it kept on going. But does it really need more consolidation when it's Bitcoin? It does stuff like this. I mean, go back to the what'd you say, last cycle? What was max overextension? Oh, as far as like the percentage, it's like 80-something% at the very end, the blow off top. Another thing that I was saying now, I'm starting to be less convinced that the this cycle has to be the same as last cycle, but let's go look at that real fast. So last cycle, here's our last cycle, right? Hold on, make sure I will. Yeah, we've moved so much in this cycle, 180-something%, 190%. So last cycle, from the 120-day SMA, we had, so this is the 40% drop right here, and this was a pretty good, so this was a 40% separation and a 40% drop back to it. These are way, remember, these are way after. This is a 50% separation, and then we finally came back to the SMA way over here. But this is way after we blew. The all-time high was way down here, right? So this is long after we blew past it, the prior all-time high. But your separation from top, measured from top to bottom, I think it was 80-something% right here. No, it was only 60. But measured from, but still, measured from, you needed a 65% sell-off to get back to the SMA at that point. And then obviously, you know, it being so high, continued to drag the SMA up. It came back to it right here at 10,000. But that might be an indication of a blow off top, right? It's another thing to keep an eye on, to your point, is that when you get it well above 50%, 50 to 60% could be an indication of a blow off top. This was a 45%. This is the last one. So this 45% separation, we never came back to the SMA until the bear. So I remember I said that every single time we separate more than 40%, the price comes back to the SMA at a point lower than this. Well, it happened in the bear market. It was a long time away, but we finally got to we were at the 120 at a price. So this is the only other one that it didn't do that, right? This one here, we came back to the SMA. This one we did not. Maybe a possible indicator we're getting close to a blow off top when this happens. When we get we're 40% above, and we don't actually come back to the 120 or anywhere pretty close to it and continue on, and then you get like this 60% separation. I thought that was 80%, but I guess it was 65% or so. That's an indication of a blow off top. But yeah, every other time. So in theory, if we repeat that as where we're at right now, is we've gone up. So just to recap where we're at in the cycle. Say we hit 25,000. I'm just going to put that up there, 25, right at 25. Okay, we've been it's been 228 days since the halving, and we're up 190%, which is much higher than last cycle in the same amount of time. So we're ahead of last cycle as far as gains. And the institutional money might change the game a little bit. We might not get a diminishing return this cycle because of that. So we'll see. I was in the diminishing returns camp, but who knows. But yeah, so currently we are at that 40% separation, but we've been there for a little bit. So it's right here. So let's go back and measure this. Oh, sorry. Measured from top down. This peak right here, that was 40%. So we've been above 40% since we broke, since this peak right here after breaking the all-time high. So we've been kind of in this territory, and we're still pushing up. But in theory, we should come back and touch the SMA at a price at or below this, unless we're at the blow-off top already, which I don't think we are. So the SMA will probably be dragged up, and then at some point we'll probably get but it might be a very quick wick down. But this cycle doesn't have to be the same. This can be the first time that we pull away more than 40%, and the 120-day SMA gets dragged up well above the this would be 23,000 or so level before it comes back and touches it. We can break the mold. We don't have to. We don't have to come back to that level. All right, is there a wall at 25K? Oh, good point. Let's go find out. Let me pull up pro.coinbase.com. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think there's not enough people interested in trying to sell right now with the price moves, but we'll just look. I'm logged in. Yeah, there definitely is. Oh my goodness, there's a big wall. Yep. All right, we're gonna be here a while. Yep, good call on that. This is I have to log out of my account. Let me just pull up a guest window. Hold on, guest. This will be safer. I don't get in trouble with entities. I don't have any funds on Coinbase.com, but I don't care. Also for security reasons, they're just not. All right. So go to pro.coinbase.com. I'm on a just guest browser. You guys can follow me. If you click View Exchange up here, it'll take you to the exchange. And the first place it takes you is Bitcoin USD. And you can click on this depth chart right here above the charts, and you can see there's that wall. Yeah, that's a pretty big 20. Let's see how big it really is. Let me do the math on this. Is it 400 coins? Hold on. This is the order book. Where's the order book at? Let me use my account. I can zoom out on the order book. No, let's just hold on. So you see, there's a bit of a wall. Yeah, for sure at 25K. So we might not break it tonight. I don't know. Look at all this buying. Look at the buying. Look at the buying. Look at all that green. That is insane. That is insane. That's institutional money having computers buy every single little dip, or not even these aren't dips anymore. It's just they're just trying to get their, Apple's trying to get, whoever. Apple's trying to get 50 million a day bought, and then you've got whoever else, whatever fund, or they're trying to get 10 million a day bought, as silently as they can. They're not able to do it very silently right now because everybody else is doing it. Yeah, so that buying is just this is what I'm talking about. This is not trading activity. When you see this is an inflow, it's just a wall of money being thrown at Bitcoin. That's just money just pouring in is what that is. That's why it keeps going up like this. That's why we don't have to, all these rules that we set, we think that we're going to, last cycle we did this. I was wrong. We don't have to do any of that because we had a little bit of a block of seller, but this is just a wall of money coming in. Okay, on the wall, on the green side, these are limit buy orders, yes. And on the red side, these are limit sell orders. So there's a humongous buy wall, support at 20K, but if we zoom in right here, right around 25K, there is a bit of a wall. But it's not that big. It's nothing like what it was at 20K. Nothing like what it was at 20K. This is going to get knocked down in no time. I mean, these are participants in the market who are willing to advertise, and willing to place a limit order. So most likely traders that just have set their trades, and they're doing their watching the market. The vast majority of the actual orders coming in here are not on this order book. These are orders that are placed right across the spread by a computer, like instantly, in a very short period of time. It's not trading activity. That's computers buying for somebody that wants to buy their allocation for the day. And so this buy wall might look kind of intimidating when you zoom in on it, but these sell wall, I'm sorry, to the right, this little bit of a sell wall here at 25K, it is nothing because these buyers are kind of ravenous right now, and there's a lot of money on this side. So these traders who are just trying to get out here, there's no big seller trying to set a wall. I don't see, this is not that big of a wall really. It'll get knocked down pretty fast. Yeah, you zoom out, and this is the state of the market. This is like, so when you place a limit order, you're adding liquidity to the market, right? So you're advertising to the market, you're putting your money, you're making your money available to the market at that price. That's liquidity, and you're also advertising to the market your position. And so a small portion of the market is, you can see their orders. The majority of the market, especially the big money, they don't put limit orders. Or maybe they might have some. There might be some limit orders in here just in case they get a wick down. But it's mostly computers just churning through their thing. Chi, no 30% pullbacks this cycle. I will have a friendly wager with you on that. I think there will be, but we'll see. We'll keep it. We'll see who's at the end of it all when we sell. We'll see who was right. If I'm wrong, I will be happy because I was holding Bitcoin the whole time. But I think there will be a 30% sell-off. When you get this, look. Here's why I think there will be a 30% sell-off. Look what happened with alts just the other day, right? It caused someone. I was just chilling, like just relaxed. People were freaking out. People were absolutely freaking out when, like, hold on, what'd Link do? Look at this right here. I mean, I was watching this happen live. I was like, well, I should probably buy some, but I don't know what's going on here. Maybe there's some really bad news, so I'm just going to wait till tomorrow and see what happens, right? This is my hodl position. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero, whatever. But, I was like, I'll just read the news when I was on Twitter trying to see what the news was, and it just was like, I think it was the Zeus. Oh, yeah, one more piece of news we need to talk about. The Zeus Capital Link FUD. That's what this was. And I think there's a guy, Captain Vinny, in our TTM group that bought, the only person I know that actually bought down here. I should have, but I have some room to add on Link. I could have added on Link. I probably should have bought when we retook this. I just didn't. I'm kind of waiting for us, frankly. So we got on Link specifically. We obviously got really good support here at the $9, but also the 200-day moving average is sitting right there. I'm kind of waiting for us. This is my Heath level. My Heath level, once I go to the 4-hour, you can see I actually drew this and I posted this to the Telegram group, one of our Telegram groups. I posted these Heath levels, and then minutes after that, it pinged up to there, sold off immediately, went right down to the bottom, like perfect touches of those levels that I had drawn in. Like on the 1 hour, you can see it like even closer. I drew it in. This was going the way up. It touched it perfectly, sold off perfectly. But break the top of that Heath level is coming in line with the 120-day moving average. If we close above that on, say, an 8-hour time frame, especially a 12-hour time frame, but an 8-hour time frame, we close above it on an 8-hour, we're going up. Close below it, we're going down. Back down to, say, $9. We'll test that $10 resistance support. So I'm kind of waiting to see which direction we go. I've got these Heath lines in here on Link. Again, and I'm not trading this. Remember, I'm not trading this on USD. I care about the BTC chart, but the USD is my leading indicator as to what might happen with my BTC chart. So close above this level, and I'll look to add, and drop below that, and I'll just I won't add, and just keep hodling and see if we get support off of here. Maybe I'll put in a limit order here. That's probably a good idea. I should probably just go ahead and do that. Put in a 998 limit order, just in case we wick down there again. I'm gonna do that when we get off the stream. I'm actually gonna go do that. Because I have got plenty of room to add on Link. It's not a full size hodl position that I really want right now. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to get off the stream before we hit 25K. All right, let me read these comments here. Do institutional buying doesn't show on the wall, right? Yeah, Henry, for the most part, I would say that yes, institutional buying does not show up on these walls, quote unquote, we keep talking about. That's mostly traders. This is just traders for the most part. Institutional money is what you see in this trade history that's flying in this order book. You'll see this, like, as a spread happens, there's computers manipulating the spread, and you'll see these, what they do, in order to try not to move the market too much, they'll well, it gets real technical, but they'll try to gobble up orders in smaller chunks at right below the spread as much as they can without moving the market up. They'll try to wait for price to come back to them. So they'll keep just flooding the order book right here at the right below the spread. But what they'll do too, if a computer wants to manipulate the market, it'll flood this order book, and it'll actually go to the top of the order book, and close the spread and push the spread up by putting a ton of small orders at the very top of this order book, close the spread and start to push the price up. And then when they want to go the reverse direction, or a lot of times actually, if they want it to sell off so they can buy, they'll do the opposite, right? They'll put a ton of small orders at the very top, and they'll push that spread down and start pushing the price down. And then you'll see a ton of big, huge orders. Like, so say you see a bunch of like a tenth of a Bitcoin, or a half to a tenth of a Bitcoin orders come flooding in the sell side to push the price down. The next thing you know, you'll see a bunch of 1 and 3 and 5 Bitcoin orders coming in the buy side when the price gets where they want it to be. A computer does, and that's the computer trying to manipulate the price down, buy bigger blocks, and then move it back up. And then once it's got the allocation, it'll start to flood the order side on this side. Now, computers can only do that for so long. They only have so much funds. It takes a lot of funds to do that. But high frequency trade, those computers can do that. And I'm not an expert in that. That's just what I see happen from time to time. But institutional money, all this flood of orders coming in, small orders, that's just computers constantly trying to fit their orders in below, and capture every little market drop into that price. So institutionals don't show up on the wall. That's from what I can figure out, right? They just come flooding in. The orders come flooding in at, very close to this right here, the order book right around the spread. Why would anyone sell? Sorry, that's making me a promise, but more about observation that's been happening. BTC every time there's a 10% pullback. Yeah, I think close to the all-time high. The institutional money is buying up Bitcoin ravenously on every little pullback. When we get a big move up, they're not going to be so ravenous about buying a 10% dip. They'll be a little bit more, I think, paced on that. That's just what I think is going to happen. Data really showed its strength in the sell-off. It has been coming up for. Oh yeah. Sure, Theta was looking good. The only problem is I can't trade Theta on Kraken, which is what I'm primarily trading on right now. So I haven't done much with it. I haven't traded it. That's looking really good though. If you're trying to trade Theta, it looks beautiful. Let's see if we had a good right here. Yeah, I mean there's some good opportunity right in here to place some orders. That'd have been a good spot to catch that breakout. Obviously right here, is a great breakout, but it was consolidating on here. It'd be kind of hard to catch this on this wick up, but this little wick down right here, and then resumption off of that level would have been great. I wasn't watching it. At this point, I'm debating putting my last 50% now since I really don't want to see a pullback. What do you think? Henry, I'm 100% invested on what I'm going to put into crypto, into Bitcoin. I don't have any stable coins, right? And if as funds come in, as I have more money available, I will put that into stable coins and I'll wait for the dip to buy. So like I do have more money come, right? So I have other sources of income. So as money comes in that I want to put into crypto, allocate to crypto, it will sit at this point, it will sit in stable coin until I see an opportunity. But like I see opportunity. Like at this very moment, I see opportunity in Link, ADA, ETH, especially Link. So on the USD chart. So I probably, if I had free funds I was going to put in today, I would probably just immediately buy it Link or something. As far as BTC, I personally would not add to BTC like today. It's 40. Again, we're 40% above the top down above the 120-day SMA. I would wait for a larger pullback, even if that pullback comes at a higher price, because it's a safer entry. It's just a smarter way to play it, regardless. So, if I'm holding on to a little bit of funds, 15% of my funds, and it goes up to 40K, okay, you get that 15% pullback. I would be buying 15% pullbacks in this market, just knowing that it might go 30 or 40, and but I would buy the 15% pullback, and that's a good safe entry, knowing that you could still lose another 15%, but you entered at a good point if you wait for a 15% pullback. That's my opinion, not financial advice. I'm with Henry, trying to hold on for a sell-off. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% in. I've got some money left in equity accounts, mostly because I was really heavily in on my equity accounts. But this bit, I think I telegraphed that I bought at 36. I sold at 197. Super lucky, super fortunate. I didn't, that was just me going. This premium's got insane. I saw it open near 200 this day. I'm selling. I'm getting out of this because this is obviously coming back down. And I bought back. I bought back everything right through here. I bought back everything that I sold up here, but I still got some free funds. I bought ETH with the free funds, and I bought all my Bitwise back, but I have more funds available because of that. I did have some other funds. I still had funds available even before this, but now I've got more funds. So I do on Bitcoin. I'll be waiting for a pullback. I did buy, so like I said, I added to ETH on this pullback right here. I added just yesterday, or was it the last trading day we had? Yeah, yesterday. I added on this pullback with what funds I had, and BITW I added here, and I added again on the 24th right there. So those are my two adds so far. I've got some more funds. I'll be waiting for another pullback. You know, but I kind of expect now at this point that pullback's going to come at a higher price, which is okay. I mean, you know, you're playing it right, you're playing it safe. Be invested for the move, but don't just, you know, be smart about it and deploy your capital at the best opportunity. And a pullback is the best opportunity to deploy your capital, even if it's a higher price. It's just the way it works. So technically the buy wall is even more massive with institutional buying. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. This buy wall is actually much bigger because of the participants that are involved that aren't showing their hand, that aren't putting in limit orders, that are just, they have a you know, they want to buy $50 million a day, and they've plugged it into, you know, they've hired some, you know, Coinbase or somebody else to oh my goodness, Coinbase. My brain is totally frizzed on that. Coinbase or some other, you know, somebody else to buy for them, and Coinbase has got some, you know, computers that are algorithmically buying this for these customers, whoever it is, right? And they're not going to show up on the, you know, this wall. They're just going to place orders like with a frenzy, like you see happening. This is what's happening. This is a frenzy of orders coming in. You see it over here, this little order book on the left. I mean, you just see the orders just flooding in, and it's just relentless. And these aren't. This is an addition. That's not what's on this wall. That's not even. That's just orders that are just flooding in. Thank you for looking at it. Oh, Theta? Yeah, no problem. And Vet looks good. This is one of my hodl positions. Actually, I in my video I decided to tweak it, and because I didn't want people to just go off the like I feel okay telling people to hodl, to hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, and Link. Like, I'm good with people like holding those for the long term. Like, I think those are all safe. You know, the FUD. Okay, I didn't. Let's talk about the what's their names? The people who put out the FUD on Link. They've done this a couple. Zeus Capital. It's not a real company. It's a fake entity. But as far as I can tell, it's just totally fake, and it's just there to create FUD. I don't know if they're people that seem to think that they're actually Link insiders trying to push the price down, buy more of it, or they could be short sellers just trying to create FUD. But you know, they said that the SEC is going to go after Link like they went after XRP, and there's a big difference. And so Link's sold some Link to the market to raise money, but A, they're a lot more transparent about it, and B, as far as anybody can tell, they didn't go into the founders, you know, it didn't go into the anybody's pocketbook per se. It went to actually fund real projects. So from what I can tell, they're a lot more above board than XRP is. So Vet though is you know, one of my Engine, Vet, and VXV were my first three that I put out. I'm researching a lot more for like my likely to 100x. Vet's gonna have a hard time to 100x, but I think it could spike up there. Engine is that gaming coin. From the depressed price it's kind of been, I think it can 100x. I don't know, it won't hold it either, but it can definitely get there. And then VXV is the one that can 100x and hold it, but I don't, you know, who knows what'll happen. API 3, I think I may have had 4, but API 3 might have been the fourth one. I've got some more that I'm researching though for sure. Do you agree with Ben Cohen that the BTC needs to trade sideways for the alts to pump? No, I don't. Let me read some more comments here. I'll get to that. Had to use Binance to buy Theta, yeah. Vet. People are becoming sour on Link. Yeah, they're buying into the FUD. It'll turn around. I almost guarantee you. But I've got a smaller position on it because the charts are telling me not to you know. I've been building my hodl position, but I think if you guys were following me on Telegram, I don't know if I was talking about it on YouTube just yet, because I don't know if I had my YouTube thing going. I don't think I did. But when we came into 16, I sold a bunch. Like I had a full-size position. I'd finished building my hodl position on these dips. And this breakout of this trend line, it just felt like, you know, likely we're coming back down. So I sold 3/4 of it, or 2/3 of it. and I bought back at 12:30 right here. So I bought back what I have. So I sold up here, bought some here, and I've been waiting for the chart to tell me that was a dip buy as we resumed off of this support and this horizontal. But then when we got rejected here again, I'm just holding. I haven't finished building back out my position because the charts haven't told me to. That's the only reason I'm not in a full position, because I figured to shave here is smart. Like I said, we get resumption, I'll buy back in the rest. But on the Ben Cohen thing, people are looking at Link ETH and Link BTC for better short-term trades. You can't margin trade here. It means that people just have to cash in. Will BTC go down to 23K? Yeah, I think it's more likely than not that we'll see 23K again. Yeah, I would say probably at some point. Break 25K, get up here, consolidate, come back down and test these lines again. This trend line right here is the support, 24K. Yeah, we'll probably wait down at 23. I could be wrong. Could continue up. But I wouldn't be surprised if we came back 23 at some point for a brief visit. Like, do I think it's going to happen the next week or so? If we get rejected at 25K, yeah. If we break out at 25K and resume up, yeah, then I don't know. I would think not. For BTC to trade sideways for alts to pump, let me answer this very clearly. No, it doesn't. And here's why. Now, will they pump more when BTC trades sideways? Maybe. But let's look at something. All right, so I'm going to show you the ETH BTC ratio. I need to pull that up on Coinbase's feed because they have the longer feed. Okay. So here's ETH BTC. I'm going to make it, I always make it purple. It's ETH. Okay. So ETH has pumped. ETH has gained versus BTC in multiple types of conditions. One, when this is a little spike just out of nowhere right there, and then it died versus Bitcoin while Bitcoin made that move there, and then it flatlined, and as Bitcoin sold off, which it's a form of consolidation, then ETH pumped, sure. That happened. So that happens sometimes. But look at this. This is not Ethereum's price to the US dollar. This is Ethereum's ratio to Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin retook its all-time high and started running, Ethereum started going more parabolic, as I call it. I mean, it's just a silly term. But Bitcoin was going up, and ETH was really gaining on Bitcoin percentage-wise. So no, it doesn't have to consolidate for ETH to make gains on it. ETH, like, look at this. Explain to me, if that's the case, why. Let me look at it like a chart. Let me see a good time frame in here. Right here, like this move right here, and this move right here, like this one. Explain this one to me. If BTC has to consolidate, why the heck did Ethereum gain on Bitcoin that strong as Bitcoin was going up? Well, let's overlay just for a little bit of more context here. Let's put the USD chart on top of it. You'll see what I'm talking about. The USD chart was just absolutely retarded parabolic. But what was happening, looks like I drew a little snail or something. So right here, and this doesn't look like much because of how monstrously Ethereum moved here, but Bitcoin was making good gains. Ethereum was gaining on Bitcoin. Ethereum was going even more parabolic. So no, we don't have to consolidate in Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be moving up, and Ethereum can simply be moving up faster. And that's just the way it works sometimes. I mean, yeah, when we say rising tide lifts all boats, well, maybe we're going to finally do something. I don't think we're going to break 25K, as I thought. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I need to turn this off a percentage. Rising tide, yes. So, like, for example, let's look at what we mean by rising tide. What I mean when I say rising tide lifts all boats. So, like, synthetics. Synthetics versus BTC is really sideways since October. But synthetics versus USD is obviously up because Bitcoin's monstrously up, right? So in the same time frame Bitcoin's up, synthetics is sideways. So from here to here, it's pretty sideways, right? But it's up, so it's, as long as your value versus Bitcoin stays sideways, you're going up in value versus fiat. But, and that's rising tide lifts all boats to me. But we'll have two types of conditions in alt season. We'll have when Bitcoin sells off and alts rise. That's the best time to be trading, because then you can be moving your capital from Bitcoin into alts and then going back into Bitcoin and gaining a lot of sats during that inversion period, I call them. And then there's times when alts just outgain Bitcoin and the whole crypto space is just going insane. Now, this cycle are the rules going to be different? Oh, here we go. This isn't actionable. If you guys are trading on USD, Ethereum, this is a great entry coming up. I mean, it's not quite there yet, right? We're not quite there yet. I'm sorry. Don't. This is not financial advice. Do not listen to me. You'll lose all your money. But when we have, if you put a stop limit at 630 right now, it's probably a pretty good trade. Probably a pretty good trade if you're trading versus USD. It's more likely than not to be a good trade. Stop loss, nice tight stop loss. This is, you don't have to have a, with crypto you got to give it some space. You could be super aggressive and place a stop right there. I would not do that. Personally, if I was going to place a trade right here right now, I'd put the stop way down here and I'd have a smaller position. That's the way I'd play it. Yeah. But that's going to be a really good potential entry coming up. What's going to happen? I mean, more likely than not. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know this is actually going to happen. This is just what I see. The chart. You see, we've been fighting with. I mean, come on, man. Ethereum's made a people. Just everybody's ridiculous to me. Like, oh, Ethereum's lagging versus Bitcoin. Like, what? Come on. We've gone from $110 in March to 630. Like, chill out. It's not lagging. It's just consolidating here. And versus Bitcoin, yeah, it's lagging a little bit, but look at the big picture on the Bitcoin chart. This is what we got to work with. So, yeah, we started moving up, and we're still technically in an uptrend. Honestly, we're coming into this bottom trend line I've got here on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and that's honestly, if you want to be super aggressive and take, you just take an entry on this support that we're sitting on. We're sitting on support. And look at this. I haven't really focused on this too terribly much. I've been kind of being more risk adverse with my trading on this because I have such a large hodl position in Ethereum. I don't feel the need to trade it super aggressively. But I mean, this is a really good entry. And if people are freaking out that Ethereum's lagging versus Bitcoin, no, Ethereum led Bitcoin out of the gates, had a nice pop. It's coming back down to this trend line, but it's hitting some really good support. But this is what we have to work with. When we finally do break out of here, we're still up. We're still moving up versus Bitcoin, right? When we break out of all this, this is the historic, I don't know if we'll get here. I doubt we'll get back up there. But this is why I had this box drawn in about 50% of the way up here. When we get in this is where I'll be taking profit. This is what I'm looking to trade. This is the sweet spot of the trade for me. Break out of all this mess, get above this, and try to ride this wave. That's the wave I want to ride, and then take profit somewhere in here. That's a huge. That's like for if you take a 2x or you can 5x on Kraken, 5x versus Bitcoin. You take a 5x leverage on a smaller position, maybe the way to do it, right? Take a not too huge of a position, 5x. We get a really good, have a couple of good 5x orders here. So you go from 0.33 to 0.686, right? At a 5x leverage, I mean, you can 10x your Bitcoin. That's the move I want to be involved in. So I think everybody needs to chill out a little bit on the Ethereum's lagging stuff, because Ethereum led out of the gate, hit some resistance here, came back down. We'll see what happens. I don't want to be super aggressive with trying to take an entry here because it has been in a local downtrend. I'm not going to try to be cute. I'm going to wait for us to break out of this downtrend and then counter trend trade that. Yeah, ETH versus USD is a great entry right now. I mean, this is fantastic. This is if I've got some people that are following me a little bit that aren't in the Conquering the Markets per se Telegram group, but they're maybe following Jordan's channel. This is a Conquering the Markets trade right here all day long. I trade crypto on the 12-hour, but that was an 8-hour entry too. But I trade on the 12-hour. On the 12-hour, that was a rock solid breakout, retest, resumption. There it goes, and it's gonna fly. What's Bitcoin doing? I mean, it is gonna fly. I've been watching this. This is the key level I've been watching too. I posted it on Twitter this morning. That's the key level I've been watching to really start to keep an eye. Eagle. I'm gonna flip this to my I need to keep an eye on a color. Let's flip it to any more colors. Yeah, ADA versus BTC is a little bit weaker. Like ETH versus BTC chart's stronger than like ADA versus BTC, honestly. But we're coming in. This is a key level right here. We fell below it, held it. We'll see what happens. I want ADA to break completely out of here before I mess with it, though. ETH, I'll be a little more aggressive on it because I feel better about it. What's your price target on ETH at that peak? Okay. So, great question. Great question. On the USD price, if we make this move on the ETH BTC chart, here's what I kind of expect to happen. I do not have a crystal ball. I have no idea if this is going to play out like this. I probably totally wrong. Well, here's what I think might happen. I think when we break 620 and actually break 620 and we make that run to 800, that's where we're going to get this breakout versus Bitcoin. And what I wonder if it's going to happen is if when ETH breaks 620, makes that strong run to 800, if Bitcoin actually doesn't sell off a little bit, maybe 25K is the sell-off point. I don't know. And funds flow from Bitcoin into Ethereum, and we get this very extended move out of here, right? And so the 620 to 800 run is the pop out of here, and then you get a little bit of consolidation, and then Bitcoin sells off, and ETH starts moving while Bitcoin's selling off. But then you're going to come into some resistance here. So somewhere at one of these levels is when Bitcoin will have sold off a little bit, and ETH will make a little bit of a run versus Bitcoin while Bitcoin's selling off. And ETH USD might not be going up, we might be right around 800, but we're holding steady there-ish. And then Bitcoin starts to make this next leg up, and it goes, say, from 25 to 40K, and then ETH just outruns it. If that were to happen, if it plays out something like that, where this is that move to 800, we consolidate around 800, and ETH actually breaks that at the same time that Bitcoin's breaking up, we get up into here, right? So we're at 0.2, and we're at like 40K Bitcoin. This is like all-time high, or near the all-time high on Ethereum when I'll be looking to take profit. And I think we're going to come into this box and consolidate right as Ethereum, and it would make sense if you look at the charts, right as Ethereum is hitting its all-time high and fighting with it and maybe gets rejected and we come back down to 800 or 980 or some level, we should be coming into about that box. And then that's where you'll see some consolidation. You see all this price action in this area, and maybe we make a move. This would be risky, right? Taking a breakout up here, this is going to be super risky trading. I'll be very cagey. I might do very small positions, but this is where I want to be in a big position for this move from here to here, because I feel good about that. I feel good that that's going to happen. It's more likely to happen than not to happen. And if we get the signal coming out of here, then I feel really good about it. And this is a really good spot for me to take profit, I feel like. Above here, you're getting kind of risky territory. I'd rather just be in Bitcoin for the most part and have my base hodl position in Ethereum. That's my opinion. Seems like we should expect ETH to pump into New Year, or in the New Year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these moves, I don't expect this to happen like tonight or tomorrow, this weekend even. Like, it might. We might see the beginning of that. I'm thinking this is more like a first, like the early to mid-January type moves when ETH, ETH, it looked like it's wanting to resume out of here. So, we could go ahead and make that move to 800 at the end of this year, right? I'm expecting this like run to the prior all-time high to be like a first quarter of next year, maybe by March or April we're up here, something like that. We'll see. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know crystal ball, but you know, so I'm not saying like this is going to happen tonight or this week. But this is a good entry on ETH because obviously you've got momentum on your side. You're buying with momentum right now. You're coming into this little bit of trend line resistance, so it's a good entry. Just watch it from here. We might, you know, that's why you need a good tight stop loss. You know, a good wide stop loss somewhere down here, I think, because you're going to hit this resistance. We might sell off, come back to the 620 and bounce and go. We might come back to this line, but you're buying with momentum. And the other option is that we actually just break out here and go straight to 800. That very well could happen. I don't obviously know, but yeah, you know, this is a good safe entry for now. Manage your stop loss. You get to this trend line. It looks like we're really fighting with it. We come back down. Maybe move your stop to up a little bit. You know, I don't know. I think because we've already fought with this, we've pinged this trend line 1, 2. Let's see how many touches we have on it. I think we're going to break it the next time we go up into it. It's 1, 2. We were above it for a little bit. 3. Yeah, I think this next move will be the move above it. Really, you look at that. I mean, we touched it 1, 2, 3. And then we were above it for a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. 24,960. Did we get there? Oh, here we go, guys. So close. Let's watch the order book. Let's watch the orders fly in. Orders are flying in. This wall's going to fall. What's going to be really fascinating to see is what happens if we do ping 25,000, if we get rejected, or if sellers just give up, let the price go, short start covering. I mean, I think right now short should already be like massively burned, but you know there are shorts. There are people trading on like lower time frames that are short and trying to short right now, and you know, looking for a trade at 24,000. And if they just entered a short position, or they're about to at 20 or right around 25,000. If it moves up to 25.5, they're going to have to just cover. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm buying ETH to hold for a while. Not good enough to trade that. Do you have your own Telegram channel so we can follow you? No, no, I don't. I don't want to go. I like being a part of the CTM community as my focus. I'm in other Telegram groups. I've got some of the crypto groups that I'm in. I've got some other investing groups that I'm in, and I chat with a lot of individuals on Telegram now. But I'm good with my CTM group. It's a good group of people. Here we go, guys. Let's put on some music. Yeah, I hope y'all don't mind. I'm gonna play a little music. This is distracting me. Here we go. Let's watch this order book. Them orders are coming in. That wall's growing. I have to be one more attempt at it. It's not gonna break it right now. Not gonna break it right now. Oh, that wall is a little bit too big. How big is it? We're down to 200. It was 400 earlier, so we've chipped that down. So this is the next attempt at it. So we chipped that from a 400 wall to about a 250 wall. So we gotta. I could very well break it tonight, but it's not going to this very moment. It's too many orders the other direction. And these institutions aren't going to chase that much, right? But the computers are pretty smart. I think the computers see that, and the computers see this not visually like we do, but they obviously see the orders. And they see, look at the selling activity coming in here. So the computers are going to back off, and these computers coming in to buy are just going to put in a little bit of a floor here any second now, and they're going to continue buying, but they're not going to buy all the way up into 25,000 into that wall when they can buy down here at 90, 24.9 or something. So they'll put a floor here at 28, 24.8 will be a floor. So we'll continue to ping pong. Well, we probably have another little bit of ping pong in here based on this action that I'm seeing. Let's see if the buys start to continue to flood in though. Let's see what happens. That's a lot of sells. Yeah, I think we're gonna get knocked back to 28 something real fast for another run at this. So what do I know? I'm not a computer. Here's my my guess is we make a little bit. See, this is this is a very short time frame. I'm on the 1 hour right now, but I mean I was on the 12-minute watching it. All right. There's your low. There's your low. There's your low. There's your low. I mean, there's not a lot to go down. Yeah, that trend line is going to probably... Let's go to a 4 hour and look at, like... There's your level right... What was the last close? The last 4 hour close was here. Yeah, I mean, if shorts push the price and we close below that at a 4 hour, then it's coming back down to this other trend line. Come back to test, yeah. So if we get a close below this line, so say the 25 doesn't crack, and in like a 4 hour time frame we close below this right here, more likely than not, the market's going to want to come back down and retest that breakout level and then bounce. So that's what I'll be looking for. Like if I was super actively trading, that's like actionable trade, right? So you close below that, where'd that 4 hour level go? The open, the close of the last candle, open of this candle. Get a close below that on a 4 hour, and then you just have a short position from, say it closed at 24,580 or somewhere right around there. Short position from 24,580. Close your short at like 23,570 or 600. If I was day trading, which I'm not. All right. Did it touch it? Oh, we touched it. All right. Well, we made our mark. So if we touched it, 25,000. There's gonna be some headlines. Let's go Google that. Let me just Google 25,000 Bitcoin. See if we got a headline somewhere. 25,000 Bitcoin. Well, 25,000 Bitcoin equals. I wish I had 25,000 Bitcoins. Anybody out there have 25,000 Bitcoin? Can you send me a couple? 621 million US dollars. It's about to be worth a lot more than 621 million US dollars, though. This was crazy. 25 yet? No, it's looking for like news in the last few seconds. Well, we touched it, so I guess I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream then. If we touched it, very good. You think it will take an institutional seller to create a 30 to 4% drop? No, no. Institutional seller? No. It'll just take trading activity. Remember the way this is a low this crypto is still fairly low liquidity compared to like equities, and especially like forex. So a lot of things can move the market a lot. Big institutional buyers will put a real heavy floor under a price for sure, but an institutional seller could certainly send it down 30-40%. Absolutely. If somebody decided that it was really big, if Saylor decides he didn't like his Cyber Hornet theory and decided it was not a good idea to have Bitcoin and he sold, yeah. Or like one of these investment firms that's coming in now, yeah, if they sold, that would definitely cause some price fluctuation. I put the screenshot on Telegram. Oh, thanks, Matt. I'll look it up. Is Heath in here with us? Heath put a screenshot. Here's Heath's. Let me pull up. I have to save it somewhere. I guess can't move it to the screen. Okay, well, never mind. Oh yeah, Matt, I see yours. Let's just do save as desktop real fast and I'll pull it up here. There's Matt's. right. More questions. If I had 25K Bitcoin, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on a yacht. Yeah, me too. I think dips are going to be shallow at 15 to 20%. How was my Christmas? So, I don't celebrate Christmas per se, but my family we went hiking, had some friends over a little bit ago, had a fire on the patio, and put on the patio lights and hung out for a little bit, and went for a walk in the forest earlier. So that was our day. It was a nice day with family and friends. Yeah, we hit 25K. Sweet. Yeah, Verd. So back to fully answer the question, the traders can definitely move the market down 30 or 40% if you get, you get institutions that we get to a price level. Simply put, we get retail FOMO, whatever, to push the price up to a point that the institutions are not willing to put in a floor, higher than 15%. So if we were to say in the next week, because it could happen, we could run to $40,000 in the next week. So say by January 1st, we're trading at $40,000. Institutions are probably not going to be willing to put in to just go whole hog with their buying after what would a 30% sell off of 40,000 be? My brain doing the math right? That'd be like 28,000. They may be waiting for 25,000 or something, right? So traders could push it that high, retail could push it that high because of the low float and the lower liquidity on Bitcoin, and then it could come crashing back down, and then institutions will put a floor back under what they think is a reasonable level. I'm in Texas. All right. Well, we hit 25K. Let's take a look at this wall. I want to, if we smash through and I don't think we're going to. We're just going to kind of consolidate here. That was fun. We hit 25K though. Florida, nice. Minus 2K, 12K still. Yeah, 12K. All right. Be 28K. So if we went to 40K, a 30% sell-off would be 28K. So maybe that's about the level that institutions resume buying, but they may wait for 25 and it'd be like a 35% sell-off or something. Vern's looking hard at ADA. What's ADA doing right now? ADA versus BTC is looking ugly. Now I hodl it. I don't have a trade on it. I just have my hodl position. Yeah, I mean it's coming into key support. This support's really, really important. This is that long-term bear market level that we're holding versus Bitcoin, and now we broke above it, and we're back to that right above that level. So if you're gonna dip buy, this is a good place to maybe put your toe in the water and dip buy if you're looking at it versus I look at everything versus Bitcoin again. Here we go, because my whole base account's in Bitcoin. I'm not messing around with US dollars anymore now. But the USD chart's looking pretty good, though. I agree with you. If I go back to that, I did put this level in here. ETH broke it earlier. ETH broke the level I put. I said break that CTM entry level, and I think we're going massively higher on ETH pretty quick. Pretty quick. And I say pretty quick, like 2 weeks. This is a good entry for the next couple of weeks. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying tonight it's going to go to 800. But this is a good. You've regained momentum. You're back on the right side of this key resistance level, and you've got momentum back on your side, and you're riding that wave. So if the wave, if it kind of just if it's a slow start to this wave, and it might consolidate. It's a great entry because you're on the right side now, but you might ping pong in here for a bit before you really get going. So I don't know that it's going to $800 anytime soon, but once it breaks out of here, this is again great entry. I think it's going to 800 fast once it kind of breaks this, this general level. Broke 25K again. Yes, I got 25K for a brief second. I saw it on my screen. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy, Skates. 2510. There it is. Congrats, everybody. Yeah, we can go tell our friends I was right. Everybody I've been telling forever to buy Bitcoin. I've been like this summer. I was like, when people are talking about the news of the money printer and everything going crazy. I'm like, right here, I was telling everybody to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy. And a few people listened and most didn't. And now I've got people asking me, how do I buy Bitcoin? After it's like, it just amazes me how people just, I don't know. Anyway, congrats everybody. All my money is in BTC, but I'm trying to learn how to trade. Okay, yeah, I mean, trade with small positions and figure it out. But yeah, ADA BTC. I personally, for any trades, like my Kraken trades, my leverage trades, I'm waiting for us to get. I might put it on a small trade to get like a counter trend out of this level here. I really want to get above this trend line and above this resistance. So maybe a small entry here, another small entry there, and a big entry there. Keep doing those squiggly lines because it's that breakout retest resumption, but you may not get that. Down here you probably will because you're gonna consolidate fighting with all this. This might be a straight up breakout, right? That may just fly. But I think you'll get some ping ponging around, especially versus Bitcoin in here. But things can move fast. This is also we're kind of counter trend right now, but the longer term is uptrend. And the ETH BTC chart looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion, honestly. This little bottom, and we came in and touched it perfectly. And I had this drawn in before we touched it, I think, I'm pretty sure. And this support, we just perfectly touched it. Now resumption off of here because it's still kind of counter trend in the intermediate. I'd wait until we get above this area over here. But if you're trading USD, ETH's looking really good. Yeah, I wish I'd have bought more Bitcoin a long time ago too, but I mean, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know the halving cycle was coming up. Honestly, I wasn't paying much attention. It's when all of us got hit over the head by a 2x4 when the money printer started up, and that's when I was, it took me a couple of months to wrap my head around what the trade was going to be, and then I realized, yeah, the trade's Bitcoin, so I need to get back into crypto right through here. So it's been a great run. Everybody who's been in anywhere down here, we're all super happy campers. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for your time. This is probably over. I spent way too long on this, probably. Take care.